Welcome, everybody. This is the Lorcana Beehive, and we're hitting you with Lore Lowdown episode 9. We have a great packed episode for you this week. Obviously, got some giveaways to do at some point, so listen in for that. We'll jump straight into it, but first off, let me welcome my co-podcasters. We have Kevin, we have Sam, as usual. So welcome, guys. How you guys doing this week?
Doing very well, Justin. Getting ready for my set champs today and then Richmond next weekend. Pretty excited.
Let's go.
I am so excited for you guys. I am sad I am not going to Richmond, but I am rooting for anyone that is going. I hope you have the best time.
Yep, I'm going to have the best judge calls ever. Doing my best to just be judgmental. Spencer specifically told me that I shouldn't be judging him, but I'm the judge now, okay? So get back. I got this.
Is there a best judge award?
There is an unofficial one because at Milwaukee, I had nothing but awesome praise from all the players who experienced me, and I had players buying me beers, the rap party and
Nice.
stuff like that. It was really interesting to have this dynamic of these awesome, really skilled players walking into a bar and being like, "Oh my gosh, you're the best judge ever!" It was a cool experience. So hopefully.
That's neat.
Hopefully that's
That is
the
sick.
unofficial best judge award, right?
Yeah, I think so. Let's go for back-to-back.
Yeah, that's the plan, right? And I don't know, I think it's one of those things where I've noticed as like a judge, players respond better to judges that are players themselves. It's the same fallacy as like football or basketball. It's like when a referee tries to insert themselves into the game and kind of make it about them, it becomes a very negative experience. And as a judge, if you resist the temptation to be, I guess, holier than thou or kind of involved in the game more than you need to be. I think that's where your sweet spot you have to find as a judge is just not being too overbearing, but also being present. And I think that's the key, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, it was really cool. It was a fun experience. Hopefully we can continue that. And I mean, I've done nothing but grow since then. So hopefully we'll see better response, right? Like I want to hear it shouted from the mountaintops, right? So awesome.
Absolutely. You're going to do great.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And then, yeah, Sam, you got your deck locked in, right? You ready to rock for Richmond, or are you doing play testing this week?
I got a couple options. The front runner is Blurple as of right now.
Yeah. It's got a good versatility. And I'm also starting to question how much Dogs is going to get played. And I think there's also some tech in Blurple that's really been instrumental against Dogs.
We found some options that do well into the deck, so gonna try a few of those out. You're kind of on a knife's edge though. Like if you go too much towards the Dogs matchup, you kind of fall flat in some others.
Yeah.
So finding that balance is gonna be tricky. But the list where we've got cooked up right now, it's doing pretty well, especially in testing. I've really liked the way Blurple feels. So I've tried all the purple decks, and I've tried like some of the more combo heavy stuff like green blue and the Monstro deck. So everything feels good, but Blurple has felt the best. So as of right now, that's what I'm on.
Makes sense. You got any what
Those
deck are you
filthy
on,
control
Kevin?
players.
What deck are you on, Kevin?
What deck am I on? If I was playing at Richmond, I would run something quick. I would probably run Dogs, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's the best version of the fastest deck out there, and it's a decent match into Blurple, which is pretty popular at the moment. It also can give. I mean, it's not the best into Purple Steel. In all honesty, it has a harder time there, but it can give it a run for its money if it has a good day.
Yeah, the only time I've ever beat Purple Steel with Dogs, they missed their one drop. It's like that's like my ace in the hole is if as I'm playing Dogs, if they miss their one drop, I can win.
I think it becomes an interesting meta. So you have everybody playing Purple Steel just because it's the most consistent. Like it's been the most played deck the entire meta, right? So you have like a certain percentage of the field, let's say, is Purple Steel. And the other percentages all get beat by Dogs. So Dogs is like you might have Purple Steel at number 1 and Dogs at number 2. I'm not sure if that will be the case, but it's leaning towards it for Richmond, I think. Especially among top players on the internet, they say that they're doing really well in testing with Dogs. They keep posting their like ladder stats and they're really good, but I'm not sure if they'll actually follow that into Richmond. A lot of times when they post like ladder climbs, that's not the deck they're necessarily playing at the event, right?
It's a throw
So
off.
yeah, who knows? But yeah, I think it's kind of like it's a game of chicken, right? If you play one deck to try not to avoid, like if you try to avoid the other decks, like I think that's an interesting kind of strategy for deck planning in Richmond.
Well, I feel like dogs opens
Is
up
there?
the meta quite a bit, right? And I know
Yeah.
we're going to talk about some off meta decks later, but it feels like dogs kind of opens it up to say, like, if you notice that this is being played a lot, you could actually play some pretty spicy decks and potentially be able to get into top cut.
Well,
Even,
I'd be scared if I was a dogs player because there's a lot of dogs hate decks. Like red
yeah,
purple really really beats you up.
yep,
Purple steel is not a great
Mhm.
matchup. You don't necessarily auto win against some of the like the control Prince Philip decks, but
yeah,
they are a good matchup, I'd say.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Dogs is like has been really consistently doing well, so we'll see it there in like the top tables for sure. But not sure the
It'll
amount
be
of detail
represented.
will be interesting to see.
What is Blurple afraid of?
dogs.
Blurple's weird, right? It's one of those decks that because you ramp, you're kind of afraid of yourself.
Hmm.
Dogs is
Mhm.
not a great matchup. I think with the text we've added in, it's a little bit more 50-50, if not favored.
Yeah.
It can be,
Mm.
but because of that, the purple steel becomes a little bit more 50-50 where it was favored before. So there's a few tech choices that if you go one way or the other. But green blue is like a coin flip. They combo you or they don't, you know.
Oh,
So
okay.
Yeah.
the
Gotcha.
worst matchup is Brainiac, but that deck's kind of fallen off.
Yeah. I haven't
Brainiac
seen a
is
lot of
abysmal
Brainiac.
matchup for Blurple.
I've seen
You draw
more.
cards and they draw a million cards, and it's just impossible.
Yeah, I've seen more like lower end, not necessarily like the Brainiac build where it's got kind of the higher end stuff, but more of like a like lower to the ground purple steel, not the burn
Mhm.
deck, or purple emerald, not the burn deck, but like a, I don't know, just a faster deck.
Yeah, if you go like the old style where you go like Flynn Riders into
Yeah.
Curse Merfolk Flynn Rider into like a 2-drop that quests for a lot,
Right.
or Ursula or something. Yeah, those decks can get under you, but I think if you stabilize ever against that deck, it never wins.
Right.
So yeah, Blurple's
You
just
can't
kind
come
of
back.
in a
It's a
weird
hard
spot
time.
where like a lot of certain things have to go right for you to lose.
Mhm.
But yeah, the Brainiac is like if they hit multiple Chromacons, like the Amethyst Chromacon, it becomes really tough
Mhm.
to stay afloat.
Yeah, because they just keep drawing forever. Like even
Yeah,
if
that's
you draw,
like one of
they,
the advantages
Yeah.
Blurple has, right? Is they maintain the draw advantage,
yep, right,
right? And then you get to play your top end out, and that's the way the deck works. So this Chromacon just allows them, like if you keep taking cards, they're just gonna play Clarabelle, immediately gain all the advantage back that they lost.
Right.
But they also run the combo, so they just have infinite Prince Phillips. So it becomes a really hard. Do I flood the board and just get wiped, or do I like play my top end and then just have the Cusco come out and Mother Knows Best and the Stop Chaos in its tracks? So I find that deck to be a little bit more difficult. I wouldn't say it's like it's not a nothing in this game is like an auto loss, right? Where it's like you lose 70% of the time.
Yeah.
So I think most
Mhm.
decks are a little bit smaller than that in the ratios, but they have to draw pretty poor. Like if they whiff Clarabelle, it becomes a lot more winnable. Like your win rate goes way up.
Mhm.
So Blurple just has a few of these off kilter things that can come and wreck your day. Blurple obviously can get under you if you, or not Blurple, Purple Steel can obviously get under you if you can't stabilize ever.
Yeah.
The mirror match is a little skill intensive. Like it's not just a there's certain game plans that win. The Ursula's Whisper card,
Mhm.
pretty good in the mirror.
Right.
So
Terrifying.
you have to make. I think that the mirror game plan's a little bit more game of chess than the other matchups. So
Yeah, I think the popularity of Ursula Whisper makes Horseman Strikes like a required card in any deck that's running Amber. And, obviously Dogs is one of those, like, I've had so many times where they'll play out an Ursula and I'm just waiting for them to boost her so I can get rid of her because that's...
that's the hot tech. If you're playing against Dogs and you ever get to an Ursula, you probably already won. But if you like play Ursula, just don't ever boost it. Haha.
Yeah, just keep on questing with the two. Like, it's not great, but it's a big body that they can't do anything about.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's jump into the meat of our program here today. So with DLC coming up next weekend, we had a really cool topic that Kevin had mentioned, which was maybe some DLC tips and tricks, tips of the trade, something that you can take into your DLC experience that will overall improve it, make it better. So Kevin, did you want to take that topic and let us know what you think there?
Yeah, happy to. So I've been to a couple of DLCs myself, so this does come from a little bit of experience, though I do fully recognize that there have been many other players that have been to far more DLCs than I have. But a few things that I really did enjoy and would recommend that others do when they go to big events like this is that if you haven't been to a DLC or a big competitive event like this, they take all day. You're going to be there from the morning until the evening.
Yep.
And there's no getting around that. You're going there to play a card game, and you're going to play the card game all day.
Mm-hmm.
So rarely at these events do they provide time for people to go and get a refresher, have lunch, do anything like that. It's very uncommon that they have the time and space to do that. So you really are responsible to keep yourself going. Bring snacks. That's my number one tip, is you need to have some calories to keep you going throughout the day, because you're going to get tired. You're going to get frustrated. And I think if you keep Snickers in your bag, you keep yourself from getting tilted, right?
Yeah.
Just bring your favorite food. That's all I'm saying. Bring something that's a little calorie dense, something that can travel well. There's some people I saw that brought like little tiny coolers with themselves and had like sandwiches or fruit or whatever in there. You're gonna thank yourself for bringing snacks and keeping yourself going that way, and water
Ben
as well.
from the Tiggers, he's always our snack plug. He's got all the snacks all the time. So anytime I'm feeling like the same way, I go to Ben. I'm like, hey, I need something. He's got we went to CCQ Vegas. He had Sour Patch Kids and Cheez-Its.
Yes.
And he
Cheez-Its?
had something else, but I can't remember. It was great. I was like, I need something.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the venues that you go to are gonna have some food sometimes, but they will gouge you. Like I think there was one
So
I went
expensive.
to. I think it was DLC Vegas, and they were charging $5 for a banana, and I was offended.
Yeah.
like personally offended.
As you should be. There's no question. Like it's definitely a predatory tactic inside of the venue that they have, food that's close, but it costs double what it should. And yeah,
But Kevin's
got
right.
lucky.
Like, bring some snacks. Caffeine is not enough. You can't just drink caffeine all day and then expect your body to keep going.
Yeah. And I
It
mean,
won't work.
last DLC, just to put it in perspective, we started at 10 and finals didn't get played until 1 a.m. So like it was, and that was day 2, right? Like this is after a full day the day before, and they still ended up not playing finals until about 1 a.m. on day 2. So yeah, definitely plan for the long haul.
Yeah, so snacks are big, huge. Always get the calories in. It'll keep you going, keep your brain smart. But also, I have another tip. I've been to a few of these. I always try to wear the comfiest clothes I possibly can. If you wear tight shoes, you're going to hate yourself. If you wear like a scratchy sweater, you're going to hate yourself. Just wear like your most like casual, comfy wear. Like I'm not talking, you don't have to wear sweatpants, you don't have to be like to go too crazy with it, but wear like your soft pair of jeans. Wear like a loose hoodie if it's going to be slightly cold. But wear comfy clothes. You'll thank yourself by like hour 8. You're going to be happy you wore the correct shoes. So that's another tip I have.
That makes sense.
That's a great
Yeah,
tip.
I would definitely second and third that, because it's 100%. I don't know. I just had a weird thought. What if you get the like the biker pants that have like the padding in the butt? Like, what if you did those just in case the chairs suck? Because most of the time at these big venues, they just have terrible chairs. So I don't know. I was thinking about that. That might be worth a shot.
Butt pads.
Yeah, I don't know. That could be interesting.
I have 2 thoughts. There's a DLC I went to where people are just like cosplaying, and they come in like the most elaborate outfits, and they're playing in that for 8 hours, and I'm like, kudos to you guys. Like, I hope you survive.
Yeah.
There's one guy from, there was a DLC last year, or no, 2 years ago now, and he was in like the full Ratatouille getup, had like the huge chef's hat, like everything. And I was like,
man, I gotta
Like,
feel like
I
you'd be
connected with
done
that
by
guy.
hour 2.
Oh man, I'd slowly be just disrobing everything. Like I said, there was that one that was cosplaying as Judy Hopps, and the ears were so tall it looked like she was raising her hand the whole day. And so it was like, judge call. Like every time I walked past her, I was like, judge call. And it was funny because she joked around about it on Facebook later. It was like all my fake Judy Hopps judge calls. So it was pretty funny.
That's cool.
yeah. So comfy clothes, man. Good idea.
Comfy clothes. Big
Yeah.
time.
Even though you wear nice, comfy clothes, I just want to make sure that everyone is respecting everybody else's space, because we're in close confines with a bunch of people, and for a long period of time. Please wear deodorant. Please.
Yep.
That's what I
You're
was
going to
gonna
be
say.
sweating.
Don't
This is a
stink up the place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Like I mean, I don't know. I'm a person that sweats at, the anytime. I will sweat in the middle of the winter, and I recognize this about myself, and I have to wear deodorant every day. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. So in an event where I am kind of stressed, like I want to be performing at my best, I want to be making the right decisions, doing the correct deck calls, doing the correct strategies. Like it can be stressful. These events are a lot of fun, but they can be stressful. And I sweat, and I don't want to pit out, and I don't want to stink and smell like Dorito bags. Like I don't. I want to be. I'm not trying to like kill my opponent with my VM, right? So please wear deodorant so that we are not hurting other people during this game.
I feel like this is a place where Lorcana could really set itself apart from a lot of other TCGs. Like we could be the hygienic TCG. Like I feel like
I gotta
that's
tell you,
yeah.
I've been to a lot of card game events, like traveling big events, DLC-esque in every card game, basically. Lorcana's got to be the best smelling so far. So
Yeah. Like we could set ourselves apart even further here, right? Like we could really
I think so.
I think that could be the benefit of, hey, you want to play Lorcana, it's got the best hygiene, right? Like
There you go. Sell them on
That's
that.
the best.
We got the best community with the best hygiene,
we don't
the most-
stink.
and you can play your favorite Disney character. What more do you want?
Hey, that's a big win right there.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I was just say nothing gets worse than when you sit down and you can smell your opponent before you see him. Like it's just bad. Like,
Smell from behind you.
Well, and the weird thing too is that like maybe this is just a kid thing, but like I swear my kids are like, I don't stink, and I'm like, you do though, and so it's almost like you don't smell it, but your opponent does. Like, and that to me is like one of those things where it's like just as disrespectful as anything else you could do as an opponent for during a trading card game is just having that terrible smell. And you may walk out of the hotel room and you're like, oh yeah, I smell fine, but then to your point, Sam, or to your point, Kevin, 2 hours in, you're not fine anymore.
No,
So-
You're not. And if you can have someone check you. If you're not confident in your own personal hygiene, have someone check you. Someone that is honest and a good friend. Be like, you know what, my friend, you smell like Doritos. You go take a shower.
Sam, did the Tigers do a smell check before every tournament? Is that a...
No, we don't do smell checks.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we should.
Yeah. You should do like raise your hands in the middle. Like everyone
hands up.
Everyone has to like put their hands into the middle, like create a little thing, and then do like a Tigers cheer. That way, if there's a off smell, you guys can figure out who it is.
No, I think the Tigers as a whole pride ourselves
Yeah.
as a group that does not stink.
Yeah, I could
Hooray.
definitely see that. I've not once been across from a Tigger and thought that smelled. But to your point,
No.
Sam, it's also been pretty good in the game in general. I don't think I've had a lot of BO situations while playing Lorcana.
I've had fewer than normal, that's for sure.
It's good.
I like that. That's a good trend. Let's keep it up.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
Because
and then-
there's 9 rounds of this thing, 8 rounds of this thing. You want to make sure that your deck is situated too. Like,
Oh yeah.
it depends on the event. You can submit the day before, you can submit the morning of, right? But always make sure you're taking the 60 that you put on the deck list.
Yep.
So
Oh my
many
gosh.
events I've been to where even some of my friends and teammates have to get a round 1 deck check or round 2 deck check, and their deck's not what they listed.
Mhm.
So there's a few things that can happen in that situation. One, they'll try to make you just play the cards that you listed on the deck list first. But in severe cases, you might just get a game or a match loss. So always triple check your deck. Make sure it's what you submitted in the deck submission application.
Yeah, I mean, I think from a judge perspective, right, the play correct guidelines is very clear on this, but it's also extremely lenient in Lorcana in comparison to a lot of other games. The main goal here is a legal deck, right? And so if you have cards that are illegal and then you remove those cards and then it makes your deck illegal to play, then it becomes a bigger problem than if you have like the wrong purple card or the wrong steel card or something of that nature. They will correct your deck. And usually it'll be something to the effect of go talk to a vendor, get a replacement card, something in that scenario, and it's going to be so deck registration error is likely to be a minor. So like, let's go through a couple of these examples real quick. So a player has a 39 card limited deck. A player has a 59 card constructed deck. So that's probably more relevant from a DLC. So if they have a 59 card constructed deck and the missing card is located inside the deck box, so like you pulled out your deck and left a card in there and it was an accident, that's a minor. A player has more than 4 copies of a card in a deck and catches it themselves, that's a minor. The player's deck and deck list are both legal but don't match. So that's what I was saying, is like, if you have the wrong steel card or the wrong purple card or whatever, it's still a legal deck, but it just doesn't match the deck list. That is a minor error. And so the competitive response to that is a warning. And with that, so in the deck registration or the tournament errors, if you have 2 warnings, it's upgraded to a game loss. So it's not like you'll get deck checked and then immediately get a game loss because of a minor error. It would have to be a deck registration major error in order to constitute a game loss right away. And so the examples of like a major error would be a player has a 59 card constructed deck and unable to locate the missing card, a la Dragon John's missing card situation, right? That becomes a game loss right away. It doesn't become a DQ, but you know, there's other stuff that were discussed during the Dragon John situation. And then a player has a constructed deck with more than 2 ink colors. So obviously you start having a 3rd ink color, that becomes a big problem, right? A player has a deck list that needs to be altered to reflect the deck. You know, with that in mind, like, you have to change your deck. So it's like, I don't know, if you have a deck list that's red, purple, and the deck you're playing with is Amethyst Steel, right? Like, if that's the situation, then you're like, oh, okay, well, this is a big problem because it's a whole deck change. And so then it becomes a game loss. And then obviously if this continues to happen, you will likely be looked at as a cheating situation, and then a disqualification could come from that. So obviously double, triple check your deck, but you know, if you made a last minute card change, I've seen it 1,000 times where somebody's like, oh, I want to tech this card in at the last minute. They forget to update their registration sheet. Their deck and registration sheet are both legal decks. And usually in that situation, it's just going to be like, hey, let's fix it, move on. The punishments are fairly lenient, especially for like the flubs, right? Like the I accidentally teched in a card that I forgot about the night before. But still, double, triple check your deck. There's no reason to get a warning. And it just feels bad too when like you're getting deck checked and the judges are like, hey, you need to come over here because we need to talk to you about something. I think it actually
sketches your opponent out too.
Yeah, it sketches everything out, right? It makes you feel off ultimately. So definitely do that. But to be fair, we're pretty lenient on the judging side of the house. So know that.
Well, the situation that I've seen in real time the most, I think, is when you add a card you may not be like too familiar with. Maybe it's a last minute deck choice, but in Lorcana you can have 2 cards with the same name but different descriptor text, right? Yeah. So you could have Donald Duck, but there's 9 Donald Ducks. So which one are you playing, right? So if you put the wrong one on there, that's the most common like deck list error I have seen.
Yeah, I agree. And just do yourself a favor. Make sure that you're feeling confident going into the day. Double, triple check. Make sure it's not there.
Yeah, I like to do it the night before personally. Like when I wake up in the morning, my cognitive ability takes a minute to get going. And so I usually wake up super early compared to a lot of people. Like I'm up at like 4 a.m. and doing other stuff to try to get my brain juices flowing before I get into anything else. And so the last thing I need to do is be mucking around with my deck, you know, right before the tournament. And you know, I always kind of try to lock it in the night before, double, triple check before you submit it, and then go forward. I mean, PlayHub has the opportunity to submit on there. If it's like it was in Milwaukee, though, the PlayHub wasn't even up until like 10 minutes before the tournament. So I think they had in Milwaukee, they did it on PlayHub in Milwaukee, right, Sam?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Oh, you weren't there? I thought you were in Milwaukee. That's wild. So I'm pretty sure that they had just PlayHub in Milwaukee. But I know like a bunch of the CCQs, they have an Inkdex link is what I've noticed for most places is that they'll use ink decks. I'm almost
The
100%
most recent
positive.
CCQ in Vegas did it all through the Play Hub.
Okay.
So we got an experience where you submit your deck list through the just through the Play Hub. It was super convenient and easy. We didn't have any issues.
Yeah, and you just copy and paste from freaking Dreamboard, right?
It's just the raw text data. It's not like a link. It's the raw text data. You just copy to clipboard and throw it in. Did it all on my phone. Took maybe 2 minutes. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
But yeah, lock it in. Make sure you know which deck you're using. I think the best way to lock it in is just to make sure that it's saved on your Dreamborn. Dreamborn is just it's so beneficial across the board. If you're not using Dreamborn, what are you doing? Like, just
right. That's what I was gonna say too. Is like I just keep whatever meta deck I'm planning to bring to an event. Just keep a copy. You don't even have to make it public. Like just put a private copy on your Dreamborn, and it makes it super easy to just copy paste.
Yep.
Gone are the days of written deck lists. I'm so glad.
No man, written deck list feels painful, but I mean they made them. So that was one thing I forgot to say was in Milwaukee they actually made people write deck lists for the Infinity tournament. So it was
wow.
Yeah, like that was a whole process. So beyond the idea of making sure you have a saved deck list on Dreamborn, maybe just bring not a paper copy of your deck list, but like a blank deck list just so you have it, because that was the other thing that ended up happening in Milwaukee was getting people a paper to be able to fill out was yet another interruption to it. And like I said, I think the TO needs to take a lot of responsibility on that. However, as a player, if it's me, I'm trying to like prepare myself in general, and so I'm probably just going to bring a paper copy of a deck list just so I can fill it out if the worst comes to worst and I have to fill out a paper copy of a deck list. I'd rather have my own than try to fight the crowd and get another copy of it. So
absolutely.
Moving into the next one, make sure you're well rested, right? Get some sleep. I know
this is such a I just feel so like critical of myself because I'm definitely the person that stays up till like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. like the night before an event, just like grinding games and chatting about the meta and just having a blast with the buddies I'm there with. So, but in all honesty, I have a public health background, and sleep is like the #1 indicator for any cognitive performance the following day. So get some sleep. It totally worth the time.
It's like the classic cardboard. If you play TCGs at all, you're up so late the night talking about it. Maybe you're just excited. Like, well rested in TCGs is not something to go hand in hand. But try your
honestly.
Like
it's true.
I sat next to like one guy at the top tables at CCQ Vegas was like, "Yeah, I slept maybe 4 hours, maybe 2. I don't know, couldn't tell. But here I am." I'm like, "What the heck, dude?"
No, it seems like it's pretty standard. I've heard a lot of people say that they just didn't get much sleep, and I am the same way, Kevin. I feel like I want to keep playing, but what I found out was, this is my I guess logic when it comes to playing card games is if you play good games the night before, you're gonna have a terrible day the next day. So just don't do that. Just go ahead and go in there and keep all of your luck for the next day, right? Don't sit and play games. Don't jam that out. Maybe have some fun conversations with folks, but try to create a bedtime for yourself. I have this little shocker watch that is an alarm clock that shocks you to wake you up. That has been instrumental when it comes to like waking up on time, when it comes to like going to these events, because I know some people, they kind of get nervous about going to sleep and like you'll stay asleep for too long, maybe you sleep through your alarm. Maybe invest in that shocker watch and just make sure that you wake up on time, because then you don't have to worry about maybe oversleeping or what have you. So it is get the right amount of rest so you can perform cognitively the next day.
One thing I will say with that too, you can get into like a testing hole, right, where you're just like, oh, I got all of these matchups to play test, like I don't know, what I'll say about that is the very second you feel confident with a list or a deck, just stop. That's the best you'll feel about that, period. It doesn't get better than feeling confident. So as soon as you're confident, sleeve it up, fill out the deck list, submit it. You're going to have a much better main event.
That's fair. Yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge that I was running into with my first like introduction into competitive tournaments. And the other problem that I have with competitive tournaments is every round one, doesn't matter what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, my hands shake I start like the adrenaline gets going.
Mm-hmm.
I start getting really kind of like scared, nervous, all those different feelings all at once. And I found that playtesting has not changed that in any way, shape, or form. The only thing that's changed that is playing in more competitive tournaments has lessened that significantly over time. So you think, oh, I'm just going to playtest a bunch and then I'll feel really confident. Honestly, I think it actually makes it feel worse because you kind of have this expectation of yourself, and you have to just say, hey, I'm ready. I've done my playtesting and I'm ready to go play. Or maybe you haven't. I don't know. In the case of my wife, she does 0 playtesting before tournaments and then she goes and wins them. So I don't know what to tell you.
Some people can just do it.
Yeah.
But I'm the same way, Justin. I get the round 1 jitters, sometimes even round 2.
Yeah.
It just happens to me every event, Morning of, you're just sitting there thinking about all the things that could happen, like all the things that could go great, all the things that could go wrong. So round 1's just always kind of weird. Yep. But as soon as I start playing, like maybe sometimes it doesn't last all game. It's just maybe or match, I should say. Maybe it's just game 1's weird. Mm-hmm. But as soon as I start playing, and especially game like round 2, I start feeling a lot better. Just like as soon as you get into the swing of it, like then you're just playing Lorcana. Mm-hmm.
Hey, if I lose round 1 and round 2, I'm usually big chilling by round 3. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All the pressure's off. I'm just like whatever.
All vibes.
Like I'm X2
Perfect.
man. Like if I win, I win. I'm just gonna play out. Maybe
That's
drop
right.
and go win a box, right? Like go do something else.
Farm those side events, man.
Yeah, that's the next steps there. Lots of good advice for DLCs from some folks that have definitely attended not just DLCs, but the larger events. And if you're listening on YouTube, Spotify, anywhere else, and you have some really good advice for DLCs, for large tournaments in general, please throw a comment in there. Let us know your tips and tricks, right? Let's get it to the community. Let's get it to the Utah community so that they have that comfort and that confidence going into these big tournaments.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, we look forward to hearing your secrets. We want to know your tips and tricks too.
Yeah, so we can
hoard them all for
weaponize them.
yourself.
Yeah, don't hoard all your tips and tricks. Well, jumping into the next topic, it was actually a late night drop last night that the event coordinator, Meg from Past Times, made an announcement that takebacks are live in Richmond. So we will have take-back policy happening in Richmond. Even beyond that, Meg really, and I'm assuming this is in cahoots with Ravensburger, has clarified a lot around what the take-backs policy constitutes, how it's supposed to run, and potential penalties for take-backs. So I think this was something that we touched on when we were talking about take-backs a couple episodes ago in regards to how we need to be able to track these things potentially. And what, to paraphrase what Meg had said, and I encourage you to go read the announcement, right? It's very, very good, very well written, has very good explanations as to what a take-back is. And then beyond that, what kind of punishments could be constituted from a take-back. And basically what was highlighted was that in the Play Correct guidelines, if you're performing a take-back, it actually could be classified as a general rules error because in theory, if you do something that's an illegal move, aka you target a character with ward that's not a challenge, or you try to ink an uninkable card, those are still general rules errors that would fall under what you could consider like a take-back policy, right? Because say, for example, you play an Elsa and you're going to target to exert a Prince Philip that has ward, you can't do that. But previously, I think there was a lot of confusion around the play community where they say, well, you just lose that because you targeted a character with ward. And realistically, even under a general rules error, that wouldn't be allowed, right? We would just say, no, you can't target that character. And so if there's another legal target on the board, you would shift to that other legal target on the board. Or if there's no other legal target on the board, you've just played the Elsa and that's it. But in this scenario, say, for example, you play an Elsa and for that effect, you target a Prince Philip and they say, hey, he has ward. And you say, oh, well, can I take that back then? I want to take back playing the Elsa. Then that would be a scenario where a take back would then be possible because the last thing you did was play the Elsa. And so you would say, hey, we can take this back. But because it's considered a general rules error that you did the take back for, you would then also potentially be awarded a warning for committing a general rules error. You'd be allowed to perform the take back, which is pull the card back, and then you can play a different card if you want, or you would be allowed to target a different character that is legal on the board, but you would also receive a general rules error warning. And in the general rules error category, or in the rules category, if you get 3 warnings or two warnings, the third one is upgraded to a game loss in a competitive play. So that is huge from a take back policy perspective. We talked about potential angle shooting situations. We talked about things like that. Now, it doesn't cover, technically a general rules error would not cover a scenario that we talked about where if you targeted a character with resist and hope that your opponent doesn't notice that their own character has resist and you end up clearing it, or if they call you out on it, you can just take it back. It doesn't cover that scenario specifically that we talked about with angle shooting, but there's other verbiage in there to kind of help out and say, hey, the judge needs to understand and make a decision, or the lore guide needs to understand and make a decision on this. And the other key piece is they very clearly stated it in this take back policy as well. The only person that can allow a take back is a lore guide. That is it. There's nobody else that can allow a take back. So if your opponent tries to do a take back that you don't agree with, call the lore guide over, call the judge over. Let them make the call. Let them make the choice for you, right? So,
well, I would go a step further than that. And if a take back is happening, just call a lore guide, call a judge.
Absolutely.
Because you don't know how many times this person has taken back something. And if it ends up being their third, you definitely do not want them to do that against you, because they are obviously manipulating some, angle shoot, or let the judge decide, let them notate that it is a warning, let them do whatever they need to do as a judge. But if a take back is happening, it is best practice to call a lore guide over.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. If your opponent's asking you, hey, can I, or is there something I can do, or that's not up for you to decide. It's up for the lore guide to decide. So just call them over.
Yes. Every time. There's no reason to not do it. They will give you a time extension, right? Like that's always, I think that's the one that really kind of gets everybody's like, oh, we don't want to waste our time with a lore guide call because it's going to take time. No, it doesn't matter if it takes time. They will give you a time extension. It's fine.
I think
you lose nothing.
I think the thing that hesitates people the most, well, obviously, like if you're a seasoned player, you kind of get the vibes if they are doing it as a mistake or like a cheat, So like sometimes we just move on. It takes 2 seconds just to move on. That's fine. So I expect those things to happen. But I think like more inexperienced players, or maybe players that have had a bad experience in the past, sometimes when you call a judge, your opponent can tilt pretty bad. And that is, if you're averse to confrontation, that can be pretty weird and it can feel bad for you, right? But I still recommend you call a judge, and especially if you're like feeling averse to the confrontation, like let the judge know. Say, I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to put my opponent on tilt, but here is what is happening. You can speak to a judge like privately. You don't have to say everything at the table. They will accommodate you. Just let them know what you're feeling.
Right.
That's why they're there.
Yeah, it's picking up popularity. I know a lot of people have really liked the take backs. I personally think it's a great way for the game to play, just because, we've talked about it several times. I'd rather my opponent be at their best. I don't want them to make a misplay so that I win, especially online, or, when you're doing play testing, right? That's the worst. It's like, oh, I won this game because you weren't playing your best. Like that sucks for me. But, at a tournament, like obviously it's part of the game too, though. So
yeah, I think just a general mindset shift is like the best thing that could come out of this, right? Is if like angle shooting aside, you can have your opinions on that, whatever. But if a general mind shift happens where rule sharking isn't like a go-to strategy, I think that's just a huge benefit for the game. Yeah. Like takebacks may or may not be correct, right? Like I'm not really interested in like the morality of a take back or whatever, but I am interested in like this situation you said where a mistake was made, but we all know that it was like a slip of the brain, whatever. You should be able to not have somebody like just rule shark you on that. I think the rule sharking is something we just need to move away from. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think anybody wants that to happen to them.
Well, to equate it to another, like to a sporting event, right? I used to I used to coach Little League for my son's baseball. And there's a very popular thing that happens in baseball, and I mean, it happens in the majors, it happens all over the place, where the, first baseman, second baseman, whichever baseman will pretend they've thrown the ball back to the pitcher and keep it in their glove, waiting for that other player that's on base to step off of the base real quick so that they can tag them out. And or even like climbing the base, like when a player is, they slide to get to second base, and then as they're standing up to stand on the base, they get tagged out because they took their hand or their foot off the base real quick. Like that type of a situation, yes, it's a thing that is possible in the game. Does it feel really bad though? Absolutely. It feels really bad. And it doesn't change the skill expression of the player at all, right? It's not saying like, oh, you're bad at the game because when you stood up from sliding into second base after you beat the throw to second base and you had a slide that beat the second baseman, now you stood up and you took your foot off the base for 2 seconds and then the second baseman capitalized on that. That to me does not show any skill expression. That just shows that this is dick move, frankly. Like it's just because
right?
Yeah,
it feels weird.
It's just silly, right? And I think, there's scenarios where I was talking to people and they're like, well, sometimes I want my opponent to make mistakes, and it's better for me to capitalize on my opponent's mistakes in a tournament because the margin for error is so low in tournaments like that. And if I make a mistake, my opponent's definitely not going to give it back to me. But to your point, Sam, if we change the whole thought process across the board and everyone is on board, then that argument goes away. It just becomes, hey, we're just playing the game.
Yeah. So many times now, actually, like now that I know takebacks are a thing, there's been so many times where my opponent will be like, hey, you can just take that back, that's fine. And I'll be like, no, I made the mistake, I'm just gonna leave it there.
Yeah,
because it's better for me, right?
Yeah.
At the end of that thought experiment, right? It's better for me to have made this mistake. Now I can learn from that, right, rather than we're just stuck at this impasse, right? I can make the mistake and then allow myself to make the mistake to learn from, but also in like a really high stress, maybe like you're in a win and in, right? And you make a mistake, then you should have the leniency to be like, oh, I got into like a mental trap on that one. Right? Then I should be able to like, I think there's a lot of gray area in mistakes. I think that a system like this only benefits the player base.
Yeah.
I know some people are really hit or miss on the idea of allowing them, but I think generally it's a really, really good change.
I agree.
I agree as well. I agree. I think that we need to be less combative and judgmental when it comes to mistakes, because mistakes are how we learn. So
a rule cheese like win is not cool.
It's not a win.
Like it's not
a win.
Like you said, it's not a skill expression. I don't think you're a better player because you did that. That's just silly.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, if it's a win and in, though, as a player, right? Say the accident happens towards me, right? If you're in a win and in, and I'm like sitting there and my opponent's like, oh, I made a mistake. It's really hard for me to want to be able to allow them to perform a take back there. So that's why I think it's really important that the take back policy is written into the law of the tournament, because then it makes it fair across the board versus being like, oh, I want a take back to happen in round 2. Because that's silly. It's round 2. Like, come on. And then when you get to the win and in, you're like, no take back allowed here.
Right.
Like there's, for me, like obviously as a human being, right? We're kind of greedy in general as human beings. So the last thing you want to do,
event, right?
last thing you want to do is give your opponent that opportunity to fix that potentially crucial mistake. But if you write it into policy and everybody just understands that it's written into policy, then you're like, cool. And then the other thing I wanted to highlight was this has really kind of changed the way I think about the game in general when it comes to performing actions in the game. Like I go this action, then this action, then this action, because specifically the take back policy is just the last thing you did, right? If you like play an Elsa and then quest with this character and then challenge with this character and like do all these different things, and then you're like, actually, I want to take back playing the Elsa, then obviously that's not allowed because you've gone too far. You've bypassed that particular action and you have to move on with your day. So when I'm playing the game, it actually slows it down for me because there's been so many times where when I'm playing this game, I'll go boom, 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 and then pass. And I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to quest or, whatever, right? And in comparison, I'm like, play this character, do this thing, do that thing, quest with my character, then pass the turn. It really kind of helps me build kind of a cadence in my brain about how I want to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh, it's smart.
Well, I think one of the most helpful things in that document too was the text on like if 2 game actions happen at once, like if you quest with 2 of this, like 2 things, you can not make it miss timing, like what happened to me. I think that like adding that text as clarification in the official document is perfect. That's like what I wanted to see the most, and it's in there, so I'm completely happy.
Yeah, the out of order sequencing is huge because there's so many times where we're trying to save time in this game. I quest with these 2 characters, or I challenge with these 2 characters, or I do a thing that's not technically legal within the game rules, but as a rule shark, you can take advantage of that to say, well, you did both, so technically you can't take that back. It's like, nope, actually it's written into the take back policy that if you perform out of order sequencing and you quest with 2 characters at once, you take back both of those quests, right? Yeah. And then you can do it in the correct order if you need to. And that wouldn't even fall under, like a general rules error either, right? Like, and I think that's like, where it's really nice.
Especially in the cases where you wanted those quests to stand, but they happen out of order, right? Like, right. That's just a silly thing to, So I'm glad text is in there. I'm really glad that I see on Twitter, like everybody's commenting on this one line. So it's great. Love that it's being spread. I love people talking about it. I love that it's going to happen. In my experience with any of these that the take back policy has been legal in, it happens very infrequent, but it's in the game. I think it just allows more people to be a little bit more comfortable.
Absolutely.
And I'm still looking forward to the full document, for the judge rulings.
Aren't we all?
And the program to come out.
Yeah, I haven't seen the judge test yet. So come on, Ravensburger, we need it. We need the judge test. I don't know how I can be a lore guide without my lore guide quiz.
Like I don't have any experience really judging on any big format or anything like that. No big events, but I will be taking that test. So
absolutely. All right. Well, moving on to the next topic, which is the giveaways. We're going to do some giveaways here. So we have a couple of different giveaways to run. We have a giveaway for packs, we have a giveaway for gift cards, and we have a giveaway for the playmat. So Sam, did you want to tell them how they can get entered into the giveaways for the packs in future weeks?
Absolutely. To win a pack in any of our giveaways from now, just leave a comment. Comment on any of our platforms. On Apple, I think no comments are allowed, but if you leave a review, we count that as a comment. So comment on YouTube, comment on Spotify, and leave a review on Apple. That will give you 3 entries. So your best chance to win a pack, comment. Give us your feedback. Now, additionally, if you want to win some of our bigger prizes, I don't think we have any left to give away, but hopefully we get some in the future. Wink, wink, Oasis, if you're listening. It's best if we do these types of giveaways in the future, if you comment on each of the apps, right, each of the platforms, but you also comment our big ticket item too. Like this time we were asking for your favorite deck. So if you comment on each and you just list your favorite deck, that was 3 entries into packs and 3 entries into the giveaway for the gift card. So best way to keep that going forward is just give us your feedback. Interact with us. And you might win some prizes going forward too. I really hope this is the last time we have product to give away to you guys. So just keep interacting with us, and then you'll already be entered. Absolutely. Helps us, helps you. We like to give back. So
and
don't you want free stuff?
Yeah, right. Everybody wants free stuff. Free stuff, good.
Free stuff.
But without further ado, let's break into our giveaway winners. So we'll start off with the packs this week. We had a single entry for packs this week. So congratulations, Jordy. You are the recipient of the Azurite Sea pack. Good job. Way to go, Jordy. Congratulations.
Yay, Jordy.
Attaboy. That's my teammate.
Yeah.
You're the only one that likes free stuff this week. We'll take it.
And then we have our spin wheel for the gift card. And I'm going to go ahead and spin that right now. The spin is occurring. And the winner is Jordy by a quarter, just barely.
Double winner,
Jordy. Yay, oh Jordy. My goodness, that was crazy. So Jordy wins that one. And then the final giveaway is our playmat. Now, if you remember our playmat, you just had to be on our Discord. So we have quite a few folks on this giveaway. So I'm going to go ahead and spin that wheel. It is going as we speak. And our winner is
Jordy.
how wild.
Yeah.
Catastrophic. So Catastrophic won. I don't know who you are, but hey,
Congratulations.
Catastrophic won. You are the recipient of the playmat. So if you guys won any of these items, please reach out to me. I will have all of the giveaway items at Oasis Games on Sundays. So if you don't make it this week for our Oasis Games set champs, obviously come and we'll have it available for you any other week at Oasis Games on Sundays, or just reach out to me and we can figure out a time and place to pick it up. All right. Cool.
Thanks, Jordy and Catastrophic, for participating. We appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. That was great
We do
stuff.
very much appreciate you guys.
Good giveaways. Amazing times.
May you pull an Enchanted.
Yeah, may you pull an Enchanted. Like I said, if you get an Enchanted, we want to hear about it. Please let us know.
Should I add a bounty to an Enchanted off our giveaway packs?
Oh, a bounty to an Enchanted off the giveaway packs. How wild is that?
I have some older promos that I could add as a bounty if anyone's interested in those.
Ew.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
So if you pull an Enchanted, let me know. I'll throw some extra old promos in on top of that.
Let's go. How awesome is that? Look at us. Look at the podcast. Look at the lore lowdown just giving back to the community. I love it. Well, let's jump into the next topic. Giveaways are done, sadly, but we want to talk about set champs for the weekend of the 10th and the 11th of January. That is going to be the same weekend as Richmond. However, I know with Richmond being so far away, not a whole lot of people are able to make the trip there. I did get a pretty darn big list of folks that are going to be there, so I'm excited about that because we're going to get a picture. I'm going to do it this time. We're going to get a picture.
Do it.
I'm going to organize everybody. We're all going to show up at the same place at the same time, and we're going to take a picture and show the Lorcana world how awesome the Lorcana Beehive is. So we'll
you really should. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. But let's talk about next week's set champs, the weekend of the 9th and 10th set champs, and let's go through a couple of those that are actually happening. So we have a whole ton of them. The 10th is obviously just overloaded with a ton of different places. Looks like all over the valley, right? We got Orem. We've even got some in Cedar City and St. George. It looks like both Cedar City and St. George are running theirs on the same weekend. Looks like a lot of stuff in the north side. So Game Grid Layton, Game Haven Bountiful, Ogden, Gamers Asylum, which... Side note, Gamers Asylum is so cool. I love Gamers Asylum so much. It's
that
gigantic.
store's awesome.
Yeah.
One thing I will note about Game Grid Layton, that's one of the places I like to play the most. They usually turn their set champs into a win-a-box. So if you go there and you don't hit the cap, try to play. That one's a great place to go.
That's awesome. And then, I mean, it looks like down south we still have the Nerd Store in Orem as well that's running theirs on Saturday. We have the Card Coop. If you haven't been there, that's a really fun little shop, and it's right across the street from El Chihuahua. So if you've never been to El Chihuahua, it's an awesome local Mexican restaurant, super good food. They have a drink there called the Death Star Ducky, where you get a rubber duck floating in a gigantic bowl of alcohol. So, if you want to give that a go, definitely give a shot over there. New Game Plus is in Far West, so obviously a little bit off the beaten path there. And then Moonwake in Springville. That kind of rounds... Oh, and Gamecraft in Inkle Mountain as well.
Moonwake is a fun spot. I really enjoy going there.
Yeah.
It has a pretty good crowd, pretty dedicated, and if you're lucky, you might even see some of the Ravensburger reps out there, including artists.
Definitely get out and enjoy Moonwake. I didn't realize that the Ravensburger reps and artists hung around Moonwake. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Matt, he's one of the art directors that hangs out there, and oh man, I'm in trouble. I'm gonna find the name real quick, but he actually is the artist, and he did the direction for upcoming Winter Spell.
Nice.
So
that's cool.
Let me find his name real quick. Please don't hurt me. I know you know that I know your name.
Was it Matt Ing?
Matt Eng is the art director.
Yeah.
But the artist that's in charge of Winter Spell, he did most recently. I have a signed card. It was a Baymax card. I find it. Sorry, keep going while I find this card.
And then we have on the 11th, which is that Sunday, you have Game Grid North Salt Lake. We have Kayfabe, which is always a popular spot, and then Paragon. So lots of good ones there. Looks like the time...
McKay Anderson. He's one of the artists that frequents down there, and McKay, you know I love you. I'm so sorry I had a brain fart, but if you're listening,
Shout out to the artist.
Honestly, shout out to the artist. He is one of the best things I think that they're doing is sometimes for their events that they hold, like at the most recent Soda Canna event that was happening in Payson.
Yeah.
McKay did custom art on the cards and provided it as some of the prizes for that event. So if
That's
you went
awesome.
to it,
Amazing.
you left with like some premier art on some of these cards. It wasn't just like a signature, it was like full doodles, all in
Wow.
color. It was beautiful. So
That's so
Thank you, McKay.
awesome. Yeah, it blew my mind. I didn't realize that Matt was the art director until he reached out to me, letting me know he was going to be in Richmond. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. And how have I
cool.
not been fangirling over Matt every time I see him at all these events? Like, I've seen him so many times and I've been like, oh, hey, you're here again. And I saw him at the DLC and, you know, it was just cool to see him in general. But then to know, you know, he's involved in Ravensburger, it's really cool. Like, I think it's one of those like local celebrity type things, right? Like,
That's awesome.
it's kind of fun. So definitely shout outs to our local Ravensburger celebrities, right? So
Right. A local
Absolutely.
artist. Awesome.
but yeah, so Game Grid North Salt Lake, Kayfabe, Paragon, you can't miss on any of those three game shops. So
Absolutely.
Those
I was gonna
three game shops
this
are wins.
Weekend stacked. I'm sad I'm gonna be in the DLC. No, but I'm sad I'm
Darn
gonna
it.
miss some of these local
Right.
events I really like going to.
yeah.
I do too.
But yeah, so that's all of them for next week. Get there, go support your favorite local game store. You know, we love them to death. They give us a place to play. They offer us prizing when they don't necessarily have to. You know, the prices range, obviously. Go shout out to Nicodemus for always keeping track of the different game stores in his spreadsheet on the Facebook group. So jump on there. I'll probably post
If you want to go
link
support
to
him
it.
in person, he is at the Gamers Asylum.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
up there, check him out, say what thank you,
Yep.
show support to the store.
I bought some Diablos from him a couple, you know, a year ago-ish, right? Back when Diablo was around, or not like a year and a half ago, I should say. I bought Diablos from him
Sheesh.
forever ago. Oh my gosh.
Nice.
I'm so old. Such a
This
gamer.
game is so old.
This game is getting really old. It's so old. But yeah, prices range. It looks like Nerd Store's doing free entry, New Game Plus, $5 entry. So if you're looking for the more frugal side of the coin, but just understand as a player, you go to a zero cost, you know, game store, don't expect to have a ton of prizing, right? Like, let's temper our expectations based on the price of the events, right? So enjoy yourselves. Cool. And then, yeah, obviously
of
the
luck,
following
guys.
weekend, tons of stuff going on there too. So make sure that you keep an eye on the different game stores that you want to frequent.
Yeah.
Are we able to link Nicodemus's thing? His
I was going to say that. I'm going to put it on our Discord. I'll just link to it on our
Perfect.
Discord. Since he's been so
Cool.
great at keeping track of all that stuff, I'll just link directly to it.
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you.
Very helpful for the community, I think. I refer to that document every time. So
Every single time.
Yep.
yeah. Speaking of set champs too, if you're still wondering about what to play, I know there are some today, so we kind of covered that leading up to it, but we do have a few decks that we could talk about that are a little bit more off meta. I don't think we're going to deep dive them this time around, but just to mention some, I've posted them in the deck lists channel on our Discord, so hit them up. I posted 3 just last minute inclusions, like if you want to play something that's a little bit off meta, go and have some fun. Posted this Blue Steel Kiwi list. It's a little bit more aggro focus. It relies on the Alice to give your characters ward. So aggro mindset, you get to turn your characters sideways, and when they go sideways, they get ward. So really fun. Can kind of sneak up on some decks, catch people off guard.
That Ichabod
also-
Crane too. That Ichabod Crane.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's like,
He's a cool ramp.
he's a free
He
ramp,
is.
right? Like you get a quest for 2, and when they decide to banish him, which they have to, because he's gonna continue questing for 2.
Yeah.
He just goes into your inkwell. So
Yeah, you get a little bit more options. You get to still play like the classic steel cards you're used to. Had the Lexington, the John Silver that prevents a challenge is actually really interesting in that deck. So I think it's cool that you now get to put Goliath in there. So you get a little bit more draw, other than just Doc. You've got some Goliath action in there too.
yeah, I
So,
feel like
cool
Goliath
deck.
plays so good in this deck compared to the 2-4-6 deck, because
That's right.
Goliath feels like a very good addition to this deck, where you can continue to draw these high quester cards and just flood the board, in comparison to the higher end blue steel deck where yes, you need the Goliath to be able to continue drawing cards, but you technically give your opponent some sort of a way to claw back if you're not careful with the placement of your Goliath. So
yep. And if you're worried about purple steel, this gets around with wards, so sometimes you can just get there. Strength of Rage of Fire is also a very good card. So try out the Kiwi list and let us know how you do with that one.
Yep.
That Jafar Tyrannical. Sorry, the Jafar Tyrannical Hypnotist, I think, is my favorite edition in that deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, opposing characters with cast 4 or less can't challenge, so
it's just
pretty cool if you can get there. Especially with the
so
Ichabod
cheesy,
Crane, you get that ramp. Yeah, it can happen. Another one we wanted to highlight was this Amber Emerald Circle of Life deck. We kind of mentioned it with the dogs last week, right?
Yep.
Or was it the week before? We have mentioned it before, but this, I actually broke down the list for you guys. It plays a little bit more top end, so you get to play things like Clarabelle Light on Her Hooves. You got a 7-drop that draws you cards. You can play the Carefree Surfer Stitch, huge body on that, 4/8, and then you got the same. You got the Tramp and Prince Philip. So you get a little bit of the combo that people are loving right now with the Prince Philip Malicious, Mean, and Scary. But you get to have this really cool interaction with Circle of Life where you play a bunch of these like lower cost, lower to the ground characters, and then you cheat out some huge guy from your discard pile pretty often. Right. Pretty fun.
Yeah, and I mean the Mickey Amber Champion is just such a fun card to force your opponent to play around, because it gives all your Amber characters, I think it's +2 willpower, and
that's correct.
It's just so tough to look at like a character that you could normally banish so quickly, and the only times I've ever played against this, I've played a lot of dogs. This just eats dogs alive. This deck just completely does everything dogs wants to do, but in a much better way. So for sure it's a crazy cool combo deck. I've seen it pop off against Amethyst Steel for sure as well, so it definitely is a fun deck to play with. I don't know about the consistency. I haven't played it at all, so I can't tell you how the consistency feels, but it is a cool deck for sure.
Yeah, you just got to be mindful of getting stuff in the discard pile. So Bobby Zimmerski is an auto keeping your mulligan. If you see that card, keep it so you can discard some of your higher cost stuff. Especially if you see like Bobby plus a high cost character. You get to immediately get it into your discard pile for the later Circle of Life.
Yeah, you play Bobby on one, throw the Clarabelle into the discard pile, go through your progression, and then be able to sing Circle of Life to play Clarabelle for free. So
also features a couple cards that are like pseudo ramp, or I like to call them fat, like one-time use ramp, with the Pluto and the Huey. When Pluto, you exert to give yourself basically one extra ink, and Huey is the same way but with a quest. So
and then you also have the Raja in there to protect him if you actually have the ability to do so.
Absolutely.
So you can ramp with them and maybe get another one. And then additionally, one thing that I've noticed is, I mean, you mentioned the card draw earlier, but if you're playing Malicious, Mean, and Scary, but you also have the 4-drop Emerald Scar, that can also be some card draw too.
Yeah, bunch of lines in this deck. Once I started looking at the list, I noticed more and more, so I think it's pretty cool. If you do well with this deck, let us know too, because maybe I'll surprise you with a bounty. I think this deck's cool.
It's a fun one. And then the final one you posted was, or is that just extra?
I posted Green Blue Detectives. I don't think this one's off meta at all. I think it's just very good, but it's something we've neglected to mention, and it's on the rise right now. It's a very popular deck. It has a very low uninkable count, and still does pretty much the same thing that Green Blue does, where it combos you with the Prince Philip Malicious, Mean, and Scary, but it has a little bit more consistency in the early game. So instead of opting for that Cinderella inking and drawing a card game plan, this deck kind of revolves around Judy Hopps, where you get to add a detective character to your hand. So it's basically a draw card, but you play more around like the Basil Disguised Detective, which is the shift version, where you can discard your opponent's hand by inking. Just a few added lines to that green-blue playstyle you've been seeing, but in a slightly varied way. And I think it's picking up steam because it's doing really well on the ladder right now. I know in our testing, we like the deck. It's one of the decks we are bringing to Richmond. So I wouldn't stay off meta at all. It is very much a deck we could be playing, and you might see it like a Tigger playing. So
it feels more tuned it feels more tuned to beat aggro decks. Is that
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of the thought process here, is that you want to get your Basil out so that you can shift your disguise detective onto your.
Yeah, you got some lines that deal with aggro in a little bit. You got a little bit more early game, especially like Judy Hopps can just get you back from so many situations. Just adding a detective, then shifting, and then your game plan just goes off from there. But this deck has a little bit more means to stabilize against aggro in the early game, and if you stabilize at all against aggro, you're already in a really good spot. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Judy Hopps is interesting because you play her, and I kind of have discounted her a couple of times, but like on play and on quest abilities are always really strong in general. And if you synergize it well with playing a lot of detectives in your deck, plus she's still just a 3/3 body. And so it really feels good to have that, 3/3 body out there. I know Belle's a 2/3, or not Belle, Cinderella's a 2/3, but I mean, you definitely feel the 2/3 quite a bit in these matchups this meta. So the 3/3 body is cannot be understated.
Yeah, so if you play her and she gets the quest, if you think about that's just drawing 2, it's just better than Cinderella right there. So
yep.
It's a deck that's on the rise, so you probably will see it at upcoming set champs, especially if it does well in Richmond. So keep that one in your back pocket. I just wanted to mention it as an honorable mention this week. So
nice.
Shout out to anybody playing detectives. Have a good time.
Amazing.
Awesome. That's a fun deck list. I haven't seen that one yet.
I have personally seen it, and it's kicked my butt several times playing dogs.
The Tigers have been liking it, so I think you will see it in the future too.
It does work.
So one card that I'm always a little struggling to understand why no one plays it, and I understand that was our last topic, but why does no one play Ink Geyser in a deck like this? Like, it seems like it's a really good tech card against the really late game decks.
I attribute it to, I don't know if you ever tried it, but I was trying to make Bend to My Will work for so long. And what it boils down to, it's less so now, probably. If you get bended, is a lot fewer ways to play out of it. But like in the past, you'd bend somebody and then they just top deck, be prepared, and then they're right back in the game, right? It's like some of these game plans where you opt to like reduce your opponent's chances for resources, like Ink Geyser, is they can still high roll in ways you don't expect, right? Now, obviously, if you like have 3 Sabankofs on the board and then you play Ink Geyser, you're probably winning that game, right? That's just a super crazy high roll. But it's no more like feasible than just playing the Prince Philip Malicious Mean and Scary combo and having the same like long-standing advantage. So I think it becomes hard when you add an Ink Geyser. It's uninkable. It also affects you, so it kind of just.
It also Ink Geyser is completely useless against the dogs matchup because dogs never exceeds 3 ink. So like I think playing a card like that too, where it was only effective against maybe the mirror,
a certain
I mean, if you're ramping hard, because even like the the decks that are running the Huey and the Pluto that are the one-time ramp that Sam was mentioning earlier, like they're staying low on ink anyways, and so you're almost negatively impacting yourself more than your opponents because you would only be wanting to play it during a mirror and it's uninkable, so you have to play it if you get it
right. Okay.
And so I think it just doesn't have a lot of versatility, and unless we start to see a very control heavy metagame that is really trying to ramp heavy, like if Blue Steel would have been more would have held on to the top spot, maybe you could have seen something like this, but I think most decks are really kind of running low anyways, so it doesn't really help, and it doesn't do anything to deal with their board, right? It's not like taking the ink back would remove characters that cost more than 3 ink, right? It's just if they have a big board, it does nothing except for give them more cards in their hand, which is actually probably way worse. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's probably why it just doesn't see a lot of play.
I really want that card to work. It just hasn't yet.
No, yeah. It used to work back when we were in a very heavy control meta. So back when red-blue items and blue steel items were kind of doing their thing, you could play Ink Geyser and then heavy ramp hard into a Bend to My Will in a couple of turns, and that was a really fun play style for the Ink Geyser because you gave them all these cards and they're like, cool. But if they didn't ramp right back with you, then they lost their whole hand. So
Right.
Yeah.
you had some cool
you
positions.
like you wanted an interaction where you get to Ink Geyser then bend, right? But
Right.
it was never feasible because you can't do that to yourself. Like you'd have to have 4 Fishbone Quill in play,
Right.
which is just
Right.
crazy. So I think because of that, you didn't see some of these options. Like think of how good it would be to just Ink Geyser and then bend. Like it would just be
So
absolutely crippling. But
Well, because you could
it just
do.
gives your opponents too many things.
Well, what I saw happen was like people would play Ink Geyser and then they would go sail the Azurite Sea, ink, double ink, sail the Azurite Sea, double ink again.
Yeah.
And then so they're back up to like 6, going to 7 next turn. And so that was what I saw a lot, is that they would go that route. And so what I found was the way to work around that, though, was if you were playing red blue, you did the same thing. You just ramped as well and dumped your hand. And then that way, when they came and hit you with the bend, you lost 2 cards. And you're like, cool, well, I'm just going to play my Tamatoa, pull back my Popsicles, play both Popsicles. And it just spiraled from there.
Keep going.
Yeah, so it had some play and it would catch people off guard, but right when people figured out what people were doing with it, you figured out the
You can play
counter.
around it.
Yeah. So
Okay. Makes sense.
awesome. Well, that's all I've got for this week. I mean, kind of a shorter episode, but ultimately, short and sweet. The other thing that we wanted to mention was next week, obviously, both Sam and I will be at the DLC, so likely we will not have the opportunity to do any recording. We are going to try to give you some snippets from the DLC. I'm going to try to record a few things while in the DLC. I'll see if I can get on a phone call with Kevin and see if we can get some impressions that way. But it'll be a little bit of a tougher, media experience there. We'll try to hit it real hard the following week by covering kind of DLC results and things like that. And like I said, I'll try to post at least periodic updates to the Discord, as well as get some videos out there to folks around, what's happening with the Tiggers, what's happening with the locals that are there in Richmond. But it'll be a tougher week for recording for sure.
All right. Well, you guys have the best of luck out there. Go rock Richmond.
Gonna do my best.
That's the plan. Good luck at Set Champs, Sam. I hope
Thank you.
I hope you crush it. Let us know how you do.
Yeah. Keep you up to date.
Okay. See you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.